Every year, the City of Minneapolis Assessor's Office values and classifies over 130,000 properties. The annual assessment is complete on January 2nd. Then in the spring, the Assessor's Office distributes a valuation notice. This notice includes important information, such as your property's estimated market value and taxable market value. So what's the purpose of the valuation notice, and how does it affect your property taxes? Let's take a look. People often misunderstand the assessor's role and how it affects the amount of property tax you pay. Assessors aren't tax collectors or tax setters, and they are not fee appraisers, who typically work for a mortgage lender or bank, which appraises a single property. Assessors work for the city to accurately value and classify all Minneapolis properties in a fair and equitable manner. Imagine you're in a restaurant with two friends. One of you orders chili, one orders a steak, and you order a hamburger. The waiter comes to the table with a total bill of $75. What should each person pay? If everyone paid the same amount, the person who ordered the steak might be happy. But what about the person who ordered the chili? Or what about you who ordered the hamburger? This is where the assessor comes in. Think of the food as your property. Just like these meals, some people's property is worth more than others, and it's the assessor's job to determine how much each property is worth. In the same way the value of the menu items needed to be determined, the accurate value of each property in the city needs to be determined to ensure a fair tax rate. Your property's value is then used to calculate your share of the local property tax levy for the year. At the end of each year, the city sets their budget for the coming year. Once this is set, the assessor provides the estimated market value of each property along with the taxable market value. The taxable market value is the value your property taxes are based on after all reductions, such as homestead. If your property value increases, it doesn't necessarily mean your property tax will increase, because your property value changes year to year, along with all other properties in the city. And it's those new values that are used to calculate each property's share of the local property tax levy. Assessors maintain a large and thorough database of real estate information for all Minneapolis properties to ensure your valuation is as precise as possible. State statute mandates an assessment of all property on an annual basis, and the Minnesota Department of Revenue provides oversight to ensure a fair and accurate assessment. To make sure assessors have accurate information, they must visit your property every 5 years. In Minneapolis, assessors review an average of 25,000 homes and businesses annually, and they value both the land and structures on your property. They look at similar properties that have sold with similar characteristics, such as age, style, square footage, and location. They don't just compare your property to your neighbor's property. Details like an extra bathroom, deck, or finished basement can make a significant difference in value when comparing two similar homes. When you see a change in the value of your property, it is typically the result of changes to your property, such as additions or remodeling, or local real estate market sales. For example, if you remodel your kitchen or add a garage, your property value could increase. So what happens if you disagree with the value of the assessment on your property? The time to appeal is when you receive your valuation notice in the spring. To prepare an appeal, you should review characteristics of your property and market sales of similar homes that compare to your property. If you think your current assessment is not correct, you should contact the assessor's office, as noted on your valuation notice. By law, if your property has not been reviewed, an assessor will need to come out to your property before any changes to the value may be considered. Based on the review, the assessor will evaluate the estimated market value for accuracy. After the review, if you disagree with the assessor's recommended valuation, you have appeal options. The information about your appeal options, including meeting dates and times, can be found on your valuation notice. And be sure to read your valuation notice in its entirety. And remember, the assessor's #1 goal is to ensure fair and equitable values. They take great pride in their work. For more information, go to the city website or contact 311.